So, yeah, even if you have a materialistic view of the world, for example, we're all just atoms, there is no meaning behind anything, it's just synaptic gaps, it's just brain chemistry. That's why people think things and they twist the truth this way to interpret everything. Now, even if that's the way you interpret reality, exactly, that's my point. That is the way you interpret reality. That is your meaning you're giving it, right? You are not excluded from this human experience where you give meaning to things. So that is your meaning. You can't use that as a crux to say there is no meaning, because that's your meaning, is my point. And, you know, I also would like to add to that, you know, what thought or ideal or concept about reality has not come from brain chemistry and synaptic gaps and thought. You know, it's every single thing that you've ever known ever has come from a brain, a human mind, your own and us as a collective. So let's be real here. Let's like not be ignorant of things that are around us and ideas that are around us and truths. I would say, I don't want to say truths, okay, evidences that you can't ignore. And I'm talking on both sides here. I'm not just talking on a metaphysical, spiritual level or whatever, you know, like, or philosophical idealism sort of level. I'm talking everything, you know, materialistic and thought life, you know. So that's why I'm starting to think that biologically we have these things ingrained in us, and we can't get rid of these, and it's part of us. And I think this is a conversation. I'm trying to explain all this to get to other points. There's a lot of points I want to talk about. For example, like, obviously humans have been here for a while, and from one way or another we flourished, and we were able to flourish, and there was a model that worked for us. Now, do you think for a few 100,000 years humans had anxiety and depression disorders like they do now? This is my point. This is my point. So their model of interpreting the world, whether you agree with it or not, these mythological concepts helped them live a happy life. That's my argument. They flourished. We're here today. We've been able to make great advancements, you know. I say we, I mean, as a collective, you know. Maybe the way we're interpreting the world now, there's something wrong with it, in the sense that it's not working. Hence the epidemic of depression and anxiety and issues, because, you know, particularly in the Western world, the way we view everything, hugely influenced by a capitalistic economy, you know, and the way we think about things like that. And subconsciously we have people trying to influence what you do, because it's all about money in that sense. And it's not working, right? There's a lot of things they don't teach you in school, like, or not when I was in school, like pursuing your goals, being an honest, true person, you know. And this goes across the board again, being honest. What does that even mean? That means if you have beliefs, questioning them and being free to if you want to, right? That's part of being human. I found that to be very healthy. When you're not able to think, you can't grow, right? So any sort of rigid thinking is going to suppress any growth that you're going to have. And I think it's about being aware of why you believe what you believe. At some point you should ask yourself that question. If you believe these things, whatever it might be, why do you believe it? And if you don't have an answer, at least you're aware of why you don't believe it. My whole journey of this line of thinking has got me to a point where being aware and mindful is the number one. This is my favorite part of, I love this section. Usually there's heaps more leaves. Being aware is really helpful. I've found it extremely, I don't want to call it rejuvenating, in the sense that it gives clarity. It makes you a better person to other people. I think you find some answers, but you never find the full answer. I think that is also a realization about being alive, is that you never find 100% the truth. And this is also the very thing that excites me about being alive, because you get to make it up for yourself. You get to decide. And when you do that, you truly see the power of the mind. You know, and there's things that you can believe that can affect your reality, hence depression and anxiety. So why do we flourish when we're loved and when we love other people? Why is that a thing? Why is that even a thing, right? When I was talking about evidences before, why is that a thing? That's something you got to look at. You can't ignore that. It's part of the equation. And part of that mystery, another journey that I've been going on, obviously, since the death of my father, almost a year ago now, is that part of this mystery of death, you know, because it is a mystery, and that's actually fantastic. Nobody knows where you go when you die. Nobody knows. And if somebody tells you they know, they don't know for sure 100%. They can't tell you. They can speculate and say why they think they know, but they don't know because they're not dead. And if someone died and came back, they're also not dead because they're alive and they're telling you. So whatever somebody tells you about death, that's the journey you get to go on. And it's so fantastic because that's the last journey you get to go on. The last journey you get to go on, nobody tells you what's going to happen. Nobody gets to tell you that. Check this out, this little walkway. That's so cool. I can go that way or that way. I think I'll go this way. So, you know, take the stigma out of these things that give you fear. Like, I know a lot of people are afraid of death. Yeah, I mean, death is something to be afraid of, because you want to do everything you can in your life, don't you? Don't you want to experience life? That's why you should be afraid of death, because you want to experience life. Don't be afraid of death itself, man. That's going to be a fantastic journey all on its own that you get to experience, that nobody gets to tell you about. So, you know, that's another thing I've found on this journey. I guess my point in making this video is that I wanted to start talking a lot about, you know, truth. What is, you know, the philosophical concepts behind truth, the power of the mind, awareness and mindfulness, and, you know, conversations about the history. What I've found in my research is historically is what shocked me the most, because there's a lot of things that are very easy to put together, or when you do your own research and reading, and you can come up with your own conclusions. And I've seen a huge connective mythological concept that is inherent in every single belief system. Every single one of them. And there's not one that is exempt from this. This is what I mean. This is why I think it's biological, and I think it's worked. It works, right? But somewhere along the line, I would say our body gives us information. Our fantastic bodies give us information, right? And you're getting anxiety and depression or whatever is freaking you out. That's information for you to realize something might not be right. And when you align yourself with what is right and what's true, and I'll say what's true for you, that's what I'm going to say, because Your experience of life is yours. It's not someone else's. Someone else can do what, they can try to tell you and force you to believe something, but ultimately, this thing here, this powerful tool that you have been given, the gift of, is so powerful and fantastic that it has the ability to change your reality. Now, I'm not talking about it's a funny argument because people first, when you say that, people first think you can't do that, it doesn't change, I can't just think, like that thing, remember The Secret? I can't just think this thing and it will change my reality. Very true. But if you think about it a lot, say if every day you thought about being a wealthy person, subconsciously that would be in your brain, and eventually you would do things that would bring those things to you. Right? That's the idea of this, is that if you put your mind to something, you can achieve anything. That is totally true. Don't ever think any of your dreams and goals aren't achievable. All you need to do is work towards it. And a very beautiful person said to me yesterday that regret is more disappointing than failure. So you're going to fail and be okay with it, or regret not trying and totally be disappointed with life because of that. So I encourage you to pursue your dreams and be mindful, be aware, and be kind to yourself. Treat yourself like your best friend. And I'm going to continue this path and find out where it leads. See you guys.